Record. All right, ladies. So here we go. This is our bonus session, where to find clients in any economy. And that really is true. So I want to kind of speak to that to kind of bust some of the myths that you might be hearing or believing yourself, that the economy is bad, nobody's investing, the economy is bad, nobody is buying. Um, People only buy in certain types of economy. And honestly, that's just not true. There are stages and phases that our economy goes through, but people are always buying. People are always buying. So just because it sounds or you hear that, oh, that's a bad economy, doesn't necessarily mean that people are still not taking a look at what they value the most and investing in it. And so the good news for you guys is because you have something, you're not selling widgets, right? You're not selling a nice to have, right? You're not selling well, let me just go get the newest XYZ thing to hold my phone, right? You are supporting people and inviting people to invest in their own health and their own wellness so that they can live happier, healthier lives. And that is one of the top 5 things that people invest in all the time. Good news, right? Which means that you are not going to be dependent on whether, this is a good or a bad or a recession or thriving or bull or whatever they call the market. Like, honestly, I don't even pay attention. I don't even pay attention because what I know to be true, yeah, especially since COVID, yeah, absolutely. What I know to be true is that people invest in what it is that they value. And when we take a look at the top things that people invest in, they're going to invest in their health and wellness. They're going to invest in things that save them time. They're going to invest in things that help to give them a sense of freedom. They're going to invest in things of all, and I've got this great study I'll share with you guys. I have to kind of find it in my files, but I'll post it in the Facebook group of the top 10 things that people invest in. They invest in things that help keep them organized and simplify things. And so the beauty as a holistic practitioner who is going to be working with people in a container, right, for a period of time, these are not just one-off sessions, is that you are actually helping them solve all of those problems. You're helping them save time because you are actually getting all of the information together for them, right? You're helping them. You've got the information, you've gone through the training, you've got the certifications. And so they don't have to weed through everything, Dr. Google and all the books and everything else. You're going to actually structure it for them, especially when you have a signature system. That makes it really easy and simple to talk about what it is that you do. We talked about signature system in day two in our last week. So if you are like, what the heck is that? Go back to day 2 and you can, hear all about signature system and why we need that. But you're also going to help them not only simplify things, but you're going to help them collapse the timeline, right? So people invest in things that are going to help to save them time, right? What we know is that when we have support, when we have accountability, and we have follow through, we're actually going to get our results a lot quicker. So your support, your programs are going to help them live a happier, healthier life, help them simplify things, and help them save time because they're going to get the results quicker. So we tick all the boxes of the top 5. So that's really, really exciting. Yeah. Sarah says, what do you mean when I say collapse the timeline? Yeah, get results quicker. Yeah, so so that's just a term that I use when we collapse the timeline. That means we help them get results quicker than doing it themselves, right? Because typically when we try to do it ourselves, we procrastinate, we don't follow through, even if we come back to it, right? So we're actually taking the timeline, which is if it's going to take them 6 months to get results on their own, we're going to shorten that time span and help them get results in half the time or a quarter of the time, right? Yeah. Yeah. So great question. Awesome. So so first of all, we get to say, hallelujah, clients are everywhere. Clients are everywhere, and we meet the need of the top 5 things that people are investing in. Amazing. That's so good. So now let's figure out, where are these people hanging out? Where are these people hanging out? So I'm going to share this. By the way, you guys get this. This is just for those of you who popped in here for the bonus session. And so here's where we're going to start. Again, uncover where you are on the timeline. You're just starting out, you have no clients, and you're absolutely not sure where to find them. I need help right now, right? Second place, I have a few clients, but it just feels like dumb luck that I have them. Like, honestly, I'm not even sure, right? Dumb luck. I was there. I do not know where to find them consistently, and I want help now. Number three, I've had a lot of clients and they're making great money, but they're just not consistent. Again, some months are great, some months suck. I'm tired of trying to figure out this alone. And then last, I know my ideal client, I know where she hangs out, and I easily attract her consistently every month. It's actually fun. Who wants to get to a point where they're attracting consistent clients into their ecosystem and it's actually fun? Yeah, there's no business PTSD, right? Don't you sometimes feel like you've got like business PTSD? You're like, oh my God, why is this so damn hard to build and grow my business? So let's dive into who your ideal client is. And these answers to these questions are going to really help you uncover who she is. Because if we don't know who he or she is, we can't find them. We can't find them. If we don't know who they are, then we're really just kind of saying, I don't know, I can help everybody. And nobody is going to respond to that because nobody knows, well, what does that mean? Right? So when we're really, really clear on who our ideal client is, then we can find out where she's hanging out. So a couple ways that you can do this, and you don't need to go through all of these, but I do recommend that, I'm going to invite you to do, answer these questions tonight for homework. Think about the best client that you've ever had. And if you had a roster of these, you would absolutely be so excited and joyful and be like, hell yeah, like this is my best life ever. Right? Hi, Christine. I'm so glad you're here. So glad to see you. So when we think about the best client we've ever had, what that's going to do is it's going to give us some clues. And I always think about success is going to leave us clues. The clients that we work with are going to leave us clues. They're going to tell us exactly what it is that we need to know to find them. We just need to ask the right questions. So what is the main struggle that wakes your client up at night? What is she actually Googling? We all have access to Google, right? I Google things all the time on my phone, on my computer, when I want an answer to something. What is the main thing that she might be using Google for? And here's a really cool tip. This is a ninja tip. When you think about it, like say your client is saying, gosh, how do I reduce anxiety? What are the top 10 herbs for reducing anxiety? Or what are the top 10 ways to lose 10 pounds? Or, think about it in terms of what they're looking for. When you Google that, Google will actually give you, if you scroll down the page a little bit more, all the questions that people are asking in addition to that, different ways that they're actually going to say it. Why is that important? That's important because that's wording that people on the internet, the billions of people on our planet, are using to search for the solution that you provide. Holy crap. Google is giving you the exact client words that people are using to look for the solution. Amazing, right? So those of you that are like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, start there. Who is your ideal client? Right? What would a woman who is struggling with menopause ask? What would a woman who is struggling with anxiety look for? You could even just pop that in. Okay. So this is going to give us clues to what the main problem is. And I think I mentioned this in the masterclass, but the reason why this is so critically important is because we need to speak the language of chocolate and not broccoli to the people that we want to find in our ecosystem. And what I mean by that is broccoli is what we know that they need, right? So we tend to speak the language of broccoli, right? Well, you need this and you need to do that. And you need to eat more greens and you need to get 30 minutes of movement in a day and you need to do XYZ things, right? But that's not what they're looking for. That's not what they're asking for. So we want to make sure that we're speaking chocolate. What is it that they're actually asking? Right? We need to take off the coach hat and put on the what is my client actually asking? Yeah. And so, Sarah, if she's Googling how to reduce stress, yeah, can we take it even another layer further? Right? is the symptom that she's experiencing specifically, in terms of stress. Stress is really, really broad, right? So is it, how can I stop panic attacks? Is it, how can I sleep through the night? Is it like, let's even get more specific. Yeah. How do I have more energy in my day? Yeah, great. Beautiful. Yeah, yeah. So this is another thing. The answers to these questions that you're going to find when you Google this, right? How can I find more energy to my day? If you Google that, you're also going to uncover some questions or doubts that your ideal client is struggling with, right? So what are the doubts that she has? What are the doubts that she has? I'm going to be exhausted all the time. I'm never going to get my energy back. Whatever it is, doubts and fears, right? So we want to get clear here. This is how we speak chocolate. We uncover exactly what it is. Meditating doesn't work for me. Great. Yeah. Yeah. So think about meditation. How to meditate better is actually broccoli, right? Yeah. How to, calm my nervous system in 2 minutes or less would be chocolate, right? Notice the difference? How to meditate more effectively, how to calm my nervous system in 2 minutes or less. Yeah. Cool, cool. So the next question that we want to ask ourselves around our client is, what does she need to believe in order to see that the transformation is possible for them now? Remember, we talked about the ladder of beliefs on day 4? What are the beliefs that she needs to see or believe in order to see that she actually could have energy through her day, or whatever it is, the transformation of the solution that she's looking for? What does she believe will happen if she doesn't succeed? What will it cost her in terms of her health, in terms of her life, in terms of her business, in terms of her relationships, right? And we want to speak to that specifically. I know when I went through menopause, anxiety hit me out of the blue and it stopped me in my tracks. I legit could not work for 2 weeks. I would go in to do massage in my massage therapy practice, and I would all of a sudden have this intense anxiety, almost a panic attack. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even finish this. I had to like cancel my appointments for the rest of the day and go home. That was not okay, right? I remember my husband asking me, are you ever going to be able to work again? And I said, I hope so. I hope so. Like, I don't know what the hell is happening with me. Right. I thought, holy shit, am I going to struggle with this forever? Am I ever going to be able to drive my kid to soccer practice again? Right. So, how is this going to affect their life, their health, their business, their relationships? Right. Why is it important that she fixes it now? Well, heck, I was like a hell no for staying in bed with anxiety or panic attacks. And it was important that I fixed it now because I wanted to get back to work. I wanted to serve my clients. I wanted to take my kid to be able to take him to out of state tournaments and not have severe anxiety driving a car. Right. Luckily, none of that is present for me anymore. But I'm just using that as an example for the chocolate that I was Googling. Right. And then what feelings, actions, and circumstances does your client no longer want to experience? What does she no longer want to experience? I no longer wanted to cancel appointments. I no longer wanted to have to put my business on hold. I no longer wanted to feel like I had to stay in bed for the day and just, honestly, I think I asked my husband if he could just take my brain out of my head. I'm like, I really just wanted somebody at that time to take my brain out of my head. I didn't want to feel that anymore. Another question that is going to help us get even more critically clear about our ideal client. Yeah, no longer want to feel like everyone else dictates how our day goes. Ooh, yeah. What are the mistakes that your ideal client is making right now that are keeping them stuck? And this could look like a multiple of things. It could be maybe they're focusing on the wrong area. Maybe they're implementing the wrong strategy. Maybe they're missing a foundational piece. I was missing that this was actually a symptom of me going through menopause. I didn't know that. I really thought that I was going crazy. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? right? I was missing that. I needed someone to say, Chris, this is a normal experience that many women have as they go through menopause. It's not going to stay forever. There is a way out. Okay. And that's actually what I needed to believe in the next one. What would your ideal client need to believe in order to see that your offer or your program is possible for them now? Remember, again, the ladder of beliefs. They need to believe before they can say yes. They need to believe it's possible for them now with your help and at a level of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. Right. So I needed to believe at that time that this was not going to last, that there was a way out, that there was support, that this was normal. I wasn't losing my mind, and that there was somebody who could walk me through this process and I could get through it quickly. Get through it quickly. Right? Again, remember, anything that's going to help our clients get results quickly is checking that box for collapsing the timeline. Right? So how can we present our program and our offer in a way that, and our messaging and all of it in a way that helps them see it's possible for them now with our help, and it's going to help them do it quicker, and it's going to solve the problem that they're actually asking for. Make sense? Anybody else have any questions about this piece before we actually go into, now that we, where exactly are they hanging out now? Okay. All right. Once we have the answers to this, once we know exactly who this person is, and I really do want you to think about this from the perspective of one main client. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the only type of client that you can serve. Okay. So if you're like, oh my God, but I can do all of these things. Yes, you can. But we want to have focus and specificity for one main client. And I want you to think about that one main type of client is going to fill your client appointments about 80% of the time. It's okay for us to have outliers. There's going to be maybe 10, 20% of people that are outliers, and that's okay. Yeah, imagine we can answer these questions for one main client with a main problem multiple times. Absolutely. Yeah. So just think about, if I was working with this one main client, that again, that doesn't mean, for example, I work with women. That doesn't mean that a man who is running a holistic business or a holistic coach, that I wouldn't be able to support them. I absolutely would. But my messaging, but my content, but my ideal client avatar is a woman. Okay. And it is a holistic practitioner specifically. Okay. So let's take a look and see where to find these people now. Do you guys have a little bit of an idea of where she is? Do you have an idea, Sarah, about who she is? Regina? I keep accidentally hitting my video on here. It's okay. Tina, yeah.
I've got different ones, but yeah, one group I have in mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Great.
Can you repeat that real quick?
Yeah. Do you have an idea of one main person in your brain? I just want everybody to have like an idea of one main ideal client in their brain. You don't have to keep this forever, just for the next exercise. Can you think of one main ideal client and some of the pains that she's struggling with, and where she's hanging out? We're gonna find out where she is now, right? So in order to find our ideal client, I mentioned earlier, we needed to know who she was, right? So that's why I want you to know, like, all right, this is the person, this is what she's struggling with. So I want you to think about this bullseye, because this is where all of your clients are. We have a billion people on the planet. They are everywhere, okay? But this is where we start. Number one in the bullseye, and this is where we always want to start. I always say, no matter what, start with who you know. Start with who you know. Even if you're working with personal network connections, we're also going to start with who we know there. But start here. Personal connections. Who do you already know? Who have you already had conversations with in the past? Okay, so start with who you know. These are personal connections of people who will fit that ideal client avatar. Right? So when I think about who I get to help, I think of, gosh, who do I know right now who is actually building and growing their holistic business? Who do I know? Right? Now, once I figure out who I know, then I'm like, oh, they could also be in these other places. Right? So they could be with somebody who knows somebody, right? They could be with, my holistic, which is what I did when I built my holistic practice, is I also took a look at who could help me get in front of this ideal client. Right. So if I jump back here to personal connections real quickly, there are other groups that I'm in right now where I know that my ideal client is hanging out. There's also other groups that I'm in that actually could potentially serve my ideal client. So I'm in a collaboration group, for example, of other entrepreneurs. And so I could say, hey, everybody, who do you know who is struggling with trying to build their holistic business? I've got a free handout, I've got a free training, or would love to hop on a connection call with you and see if we might be able to connect or collaborate. I started with reaching out to my chiropractor. I started reaching out to my acupuncturist. I started reaching out to my integrative doctor. Okay, so that was who do I know, and who do I know that could help me get in front of their audience? Who do I know that could help me get in their audience, right? So think about community connection, right? You can also think about programs, paid programs that you're in. So I'm going to give you something that you guys probably are not even thinking about right now. But inside Build a Six-Figure Business for Conscious Coaches and Holistic Practitioners, your ideal client is hanging out there. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Why? Because this is a group of women who are interested in their health. They're working in the health and wellness industry, and we all need coaches. Heck, I have a nutritional coach. I work with a functional nutrition coach, and I have a background in functional nutrition and health and life coaching, right? But I need that support too. So remember the programs that you're in, the groups that you're in, the network connections that you're in, the yoga class that you go to, the meditation class that you go to, the people that you share space with if you have a studio, all of those people are collaborations and connectors for you. Okay. And then if we take a look even wider outside of our community to the universe connections, now we're taking a look at podcasts, talks, summits, articles, magazines, places that you could research to help you get in front of your ideal client. Okay, so your ideal client is absolutely everywhere. So whenever I hear someone say, I don't know where to find my ideal client, what that tells me is a couple things. Number one, they're not sure who she is, and they haven't taken the time to really think about where is she spending her time? Where is she spending her time? When she leaves her house, where does she go? If she's online, where is she hanging out? Is she a part of a book club? Is she, for example, when I think about my ideal client who is building and growing a business, there are other coaches and other programs that they're probably hanging out in, right? Some of my ideal clients want to write a book. Amazing. So I know that being inside or being a guest inside of a program is another way that I can get in front of my ideal client and support them by giving value, right? So there's a couple ways. I want to just give you a couple of examples of what this looks like. So inside of Activate Abundance Academy, we've got group of experts. We've got a mindset coach. We've got a copy and marketing coach. We've got a tech coach, right? We also have a success coach. Every single one of those people are inside of my program teaching and giving value in a different way than I do. And each one of them have an opportunity to create connections with the people that are in my community. So it's beautiful. Now, are they going to work with every single one of my clients? No, but there absolutely are going to be people that are like, you know what? I really want more support with copywriting. Great. Go work with a copywriter. I really want more support with mindset. Great. Go work over, with our mindset coach. So we don't want to forget that your unique brilliance, your zone of genius can also support other coaches and other practitioners inside of their paid programs too. right? It can also support them inside of their groups, their Facebook groups, right? So there are going to be many coaches who also have communities. So think about that when we're researching. How can you share and give value in other communities where your ideal client is going to be served in a different way than you, right? So I'm not saying that if you are a, oh my gosh, hypnosis coach, that you're going to go into another hypnosis group, right? But what you could do if you are working with women who are struggling to find energy is you could absolutely work with a fitness coach. You could absolutely work with a mindset coach. You could absolutely work with a financial coach. You could absolutely work with people who are working with high achieving women, right? You could absolutely work with multiple places. So what I want to do here is help you think outside of the box. And instead of saying, I don't know how to find a client, you absolutely do. That is false programming. Every time you tell yourself, I cannot find clients, you look for evidence to make that true. You do know where to find clients. Absolutely. So I want you to think right now, I want you to write down 10 places where your ideal client could be hanging out. And I want you to use, I'll put that bullet point back up. I want you to think about it in terms of where are they? Who do you know? Who is somebody that could help you get in front of them, your network connections? What are some programs that you love or that you're a part of or your community connection, right? Women's groups, yoga classes, meditation classes, massage therapy, energy workers, right? All of this. And then a universal connection is even wider, right? Are there women's groups? Are there networking groups? Are there magazines? Are there podcasts? That would fall underneath the places that you would research. Are there schools? And when I say schools, I actually worked inside of my son's school. I did a program on, it was actually called, it was called Do Cheese Puffs Grow on Trees? Do Cheese Puffs Grow on Trees? Because it was a third grade group. And I actually did a little presentation for real food. And I collaborated with a local farm store and they contributed the free produce. And I shared with them what some foods that they might actually not be exposed to. And guess what? They took that information home to their parents. Yeah. Is everybody coming up with some ideas? Yeah. Who needs help with this? If you don't have 10, who would like some help on where to find your client? Who would like to share some of their ideas?
I'll
Great.
go.
Yeah. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah.
So I wrote down, so I said it kind of generally, but I have specific people in mind. My massage therapist friends that I trade work with.
Mhm.
That also includes my yoga teacher friends and studios that I've worked at in the past. Spas I've worked at that are local here.
Mhm.
My astrologer girls circle, women's
Mhm.
circle. I was part of an Ayurvedic year-long class a while back, and I could reconnect with them.
Mhm.
My pole dance class
Love
peers.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so a few like that. And then I was thinking just my
Mhm.
my personal like yoga mentor, because I know that she travels all over the place.
Mhm.
Um, and my friend who does she lived in Nicaragua for 2 years, but now she's in Utah
Mhm.
and she's working as a she's facilitating all their retreats and stuff there. So that was
Retreats. Yes. Okay. So that's another one. That's another great community connection or universal connection, retreats, for
yeah.
sure. One that you don't have on here yet, Sarah, that I just want to kind of remind everybody of is current clients.
Yeah.
Current clients.
It's like no.
Right? Yeah. So you have a list of current clients that you just support them in a different way. Right. And that's the cool thing with those of us that have multiple modalities, right? When I was building my health coaching practice, I started with who I knew, which was my massage therapy clients. I already had people coming to me for massage therapy, right? And so that was where my ideal clients, that's where I started. Who do I know? I've got a list of people who come to me for massage therapy. That's where I started. So think about your current clients. If you don't have current clients right now, that's okay. Think about who are the conversations that you've had with people in the past.
I will say when it comes to my massage clients, they're like the business entities clients, you know? And since I've switched from business owner to independent contractor, there's this whole like, you can't take any clients from here. But I'm like, well, I'm not doing massage.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
totally.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe I
that
could talk
doesn't,
to them about that.
that's, yeah, you're not doing massage. So you absolutely could invite people into having a call in this different way. Because you're not taking a massage client. They're still a massage, they could still be a massage client over there and work with you over here in this different way, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have been.
My newer niche is betrayal and forgiveness. I have about 7 ideas. Okay, great. So, Christine, is this in terms of relationship betrayal and forgiveness, like marriage, or is it friendship, or can you?
Yes. So I was going the direction of marriage,
Mhm,
correct? And so I've been coaching, like more on the business side.
mhm.
And so I've been afraid to leave that niche because it seems so, I'm going to say easier because people like raise their hand and say, yes, I own a business. People don't like run around and raise their hand and say, I'm dealing with betrayal. Like they are often like,
Right.
when it was my experience, I was in hiding. I was like in my house and not telling anybody.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
even so it only took a super, super tiny circle of my
Yeah.
life that knew. So nobody could refer me to anyone because they had no idea.
Yes,
So
true.
that's where
And
I'm like looking
yet,
at.
yes, but so I want you to think about what is it that you were searching or Googling? Where did you find comfort? Maybe it was in church. Maybe it
Church
was
was my first answer, right? But number
exactly.
one off my list.
Yep, exactly. So that means that one of the things that you could do, Christine, is offer a free class at your church that would support women that are struggling with this XYZ thing. So they don't necessarily have to raise their hand in front of everybody and, God in the world, right? Yes, that's me. I'm struggling with betrayal. Right. But what you could do is multiple things. Number one, you could say, I would love to, do this, donate this as a service for our next women's group in the church. I would like to donate this as a service to, your practitioners, any of your practitioner friends, right? Again, women who struggle with betrayal are everywhere, but they might not be raising their hand, which means, like you said, which means we have to think about where else are they going? Are they getting a massage? Are they getting acupuncture? Are they getting chiropractic care? Are they taking yoga classes? Are they taking meditation classes? What are some other practitioners and ways that they are so that then we connect and collaborate with those people? Yeah, even ones who are not married. Absolutely, Sarah. So we can start sharing something there, which then they self-identify directly to you, right? So they don't need to self-identify to everybody. They just need to self-identify to you. So
Yes.
one way that we could do this, if we're doing it online, divorce lawyer groups. Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Amazing. Great idea. One of the ways that we could do this is even on Facebook, we can still put out a general question to people and have them direct message you directly. So it's not like they have to comment on anything. So they're not outing themselves, but you could say, who are my women who are struggling with betrayal, relationship betrayal, or, again, the words, I need to know a little bit more about your ideal client so I could actually use the chocolate words. But we could actually push and say, I have a resource for you that I'd like to share. DM me directly. Right. And that way they would DM you directly and, they might not the first time they see it, but when we do that on repeat, what that does is it helps us be visible so that the people that are in our world will be like, okay, yeah, you're safe. I'm ready to do that. Yeah. Exactly, exactly, Sarah. You could even ask them, do you feel like you have to hide this feeling like you're alone in your suffering? That's a good one. Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. So that goes back up to what is she feeling and thinking right now? What are her doubts? What are her beliefs? Right? If we go to the questions above about learning more, a little bit more about who she is. Yeah. Who are my women who feel like they're so alone in, trying to overcome infidelity or trying to overcome betrayal of some sort? Yeah. DM me specifically. I have a resource for you. Right. So, Christine, I think another really great thing for you would also be connecting with people where you could do retreats, where people are, there are always multiple retreats out there for women. And I would actually see if you can connect or collaborate with a yoga teacher who might be doing a retreat or a community where you could then go in and talk about it. Grief counselors, yep,
Mm,
exactly. Therapists. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
welcome. Hmm.
I just wanted to pop in for a second. I get so excited when other people are like, I need ideas. And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And when it comes to me, I'm like,
Oh my God, we all do that. Yes. Here's why. When we actually are associated in our problem. Our brain is like looking at the problem. And so we can't read the label when we're inside of the bottle. That's why it's so much easier for us to help somebody else and to come up with the ideas than it is for us to come up with our own. When we're like, I don't know, what should I say? Right. But for somebody else, we're like, oh, but they're here and here and here and here. That's because we are outside of the problem, right? So we're not in it. So we're using a completely different brain than the brain that's in our head. Yeah, absolutely. This is one reason why you want to be part of a community. Let me just say that this is one reason why you want to be in a group program when you're building and growing your business, because everybody is going to be offering ideas to help you, right? So think about it. When you've got a community of 15, 20, women who are like, oh, and this, and this, and this, and this, and I know somebody, and I know somebody you could talk to, or I could connect you with this, that, right? How much easier is it when you're in a community, when you've got other people who have your back, right? Yes. Oh my gosh, same. Community is always. It totally helps so much. Yes, absolutely. This is why being inside of a program that has community is really, really important. Really, really important. As a matter of fact, anybody who works with me one-on-one gets access to my community as well, because I don't want them just doing it on their own. Yeah, cool, cool. All right, let's keep going. So again, here's where else you can find them. So these are the answers, right? Where do they congregate? Where do they hang out online? What Facebook groups are they in? What do they read? What are their hobbies? What workbooks or seminars do they go to? Where do they network? Who do they do business with on a regular basis? Who also caters to this audience? What clubs or organizations can you rub elbows with them? What websites do they visit often or rely upon? What podcasts do they listen to? What personal clubs or professional associations do they belong to? And who has a list of these people? Again, we're not buying lists, but when we ask ourselves who has a list of these people, can you notice that when you ask yourself these questions, our brain likes to solve. So it's going to give you an idea, right? So instead of just saying, I don't know where to find clients, we get to say, okay, where do they hang out online? What do they read? What are their hobbies? What workshops or seminars? Right? We are asking specific questions so that we can solve for the correct problem. Right? The problem isn't you can't find clients. They're everywhere. The problem is we just need to uncover where they're hanging out. Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow, we are going to pop back and we're actually going to create a client attraction plan. Okay. So now that we know where they are, right, we're going to be like, all right, how do we bring them into our ecosystem? Right? Knowing where they are is one thing. Bringing them into our ecosystem, helping them self-identify and raise their hand so we know who they are is something else. right? So we know where they are, we know who they are. Now, what are we going to do? What is our client attraction plan to give them some value and bring them into our ecosystem? Yeah, what YouTube channels do they follow? It is so much more than just age, sex, and location. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 Is this giving you some ideas of where you can find clients? Yes. Okay, good. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something. Let me know that this is like working for you. Okay, cool. Any questions that you guys might have around these two things that we covered today? We covered who your ideal client was. Where is she hanging out? Where does she go when she leaves her house? Or where could we absolutely find her? Does anybody need support around this? Mary, Alyssa, Christine, you had some really great questions. Gina?
Yeah, I was going to ask, so is the method of contact going to be like written material, like flyers, or is it going to be social media, or is it going to be, how are we, even if we identify them, how are we going to actually contact them?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about exactly that. How are we going to
That's
contact them
tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And what are we actually going to give them? What are we actually going to give
Yeah.
them? What value are we going to lead with that actually converts? Not just these, look, we all need a lead magnet. I hate that word. I like to think of it more as, a irresistible freebie or an irresistible, value. But we're going to talk about that and where to share it. So we're going to do both, Gina. What is it that we're going to offer and where are we actually going to share it? And I have a ton of ideas, like 21 different ideas on different high converting freebies, free value that you can lead with. So you get to pick what works for you, right? This isn't about just one thing and you're going to share one in one place. Mm-mm. My sole intention is to help you pick one that makes sense for you and your ideal client so we can customize it in a way that works for you and feels good, natural, and aligned for you.
And you were going to utilize in person and online.
Yeah.
The crazy thing now is trying to
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody at one place. You can't.
You get to choose. You get to choose. Absolutely. There's value in both. Okay. And so you get to choose. Some people do not want to be online at all. If that's you, we need to do something. So that means we're going to have to do something online. Right. And my suggestion is that we actually do both, because if we're only doing online, then that means that the only way that they're going to continue to connect with you, I'm sorry, if we're only doing in person, then the only way that they can connect with you is if they come to every in-person event that you do. And that's just not realistic. Right. So, yeah, but we can start somewhere. Right. So if you're like, yeah, not ready to go online yet, but I know that I want to do in person, beautiful. We can absolutely start there. Yeah. And if you're already online, I'm going to share ways that you can take that up a notch so that you can know, okay, I've met these people in person. Now I'm going to bring them online. How do I serve and nurture and support them? Yeah.
I'm curious how, because like I feel like I can easily and effortlessly
Mhm.
find people to work with,
Mhm.
right? But it goes about like introducing yourself.
Mm.
And it's like, oh, what if this is someone that has like 1 million followers on YouTube or something? And you're like,
Mhm.
this is my exact audience. I have something to offer their audience that they
Yeah.
don't currently have. Like,
Mhm.
how would one go about just being like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, such a good question. Yeah. So one of the things that I teach you inside Activate, Sarah, is we actually have, how do we actually message people? We call it for lack of a better word, a pitch. How do we actually pitch podcasts? How do we actually send a message to people that we want to connect with? What is it that we want to say to them so that we can build that bridge and ask if they're accepting guests or ask if we can participate or do a collaboration of some kind?
that'd
So
be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Some
actually give you
people,
I give you I give you mine and I teach you like, okay, this is what we want to do first. This is what we want to say first. Like we want to build a bridge of connection here. And so you get to actually use the template that I provide and just put your own words in it.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that at some point, like once I have some my foundational structure things planned out, like,
Mhm.
I just set up Stripe yesterday, I can take
Yay! Yay! Great job.
small wins, right?
Mhm.
I'm like getting all the main pillars set. But eventually I'd like to start up my podcast again because I recorded 2 episodes. I didn't really know what I wanted to do
Yep.
and I didn't
Yep.
have direction. So
Yeah.
cool to
Yes.
get back on
Yes.
the train.
Absolutely. And so, since you mentioned podcast, there is a great Facebook group that you could go to right now. One of them is called Find a Guest, Be a Guest. So, for those, find a guest, be a guest. You can just search that in Facebook groups. And there's about 56,000 people in that group. And what you would do is you would just create a post and say, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm looking to be a guest on a podcast that would serve this type of woman. My specialty is to talk about, or my specialty is serving women who, ba, 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 ba." And then you'll get people that are like, "Yes, I'll send you a DM, send you a DM. So I'm interested in that too," right? So then you get it matches up the podcast person with the guest. Yeah. And if you have your own podcast, you could say, "Hey, I'm looking for guests." And think about what type of guest do you want, right? You don't want just the same type of person that you do. So, for example, when I go on and do that, I'm like, "Hey, I am looking for people who certify others in a wellness modality to be on my podcast. I am looking for people who certify in hypnosis, who certify in coaching, who certify in intuition, who certify in energy work." Why? Because they're doing the certification, but they're not teaching the business. So what that means is we can actually support each other, right? So I will actually introduce her, which is good because many of the people in my audience have multiple modalities. And then she shares the podcast with her audience, which means I'm getting in front of people who have learned the craft, but they haven't yet learned how to monetize it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yes. And it's fun, you guys. It's like we're not competing, we're actually helping
Yeah.
each other.
Elevate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mary said she's figuring out her niche is first step. So Mary, I want to invite you to let go of trying to figure out your niche. And instead, I want you to think about one main ideal client and use those questions to answer and ask about one main ideal client. Because here's what happens when you know who that one main ideal client is, the niche will automatically open. But when we try to figure out our niche first, we just get so in the weeds. We're like, "I don't know, it could be this, it could be that, it could be other thing." Honestly, your niche doesn't matter. What matters is your ideal client. What matters is who is it that you are serving and the specificities, boy, that's a hard word to say, that she's struggling with. Once you know that, then you're like, "Oh, all of these women are high achieving females who XYZ. Oh, all of these women are, I did that for me when I was like, I don't know, who am I serving?" I'm like, "Well, I am helping this person, and this person." I took a look at my 3 most favorite clients. One was a health coach, one was a life coach, one was a yoga teacher. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, they're all wellness practitioners. Duh." Right? But we're too close to it, right? And that's what I have spent well over 3 decades as a yoga teacher, as a nutritionist, as a health coach, as a massage therapist, right? It's just that we're like, "I don't know, should it be C-suite executives who blah blah blah?" No. No, no. Like, unless that's what you want. Okay. So what is an aha? I want to hear one aha from everybody that you are excited about, that you're like, "Oh my God, this was such a golden nugget that I'm taking away today."
That our ideal clients are already invested in all the things that we're doing, no matter what state the economy is. I mean, honestly, there's so many. Everyone's going to be talking about the economy all the time, and someone's going to say it's bad, someone's going to say it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
Mm-mm.
And the interesting thing is, to me, is that, I mean, it's kind of a tangent, but investing in like the S&P 500, right? And it's like, even after like 2008 dips and all these
Yep.
financial crises, it's still up from before then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. People are buying all the time, all the time. We just want to be able to use chocolate to help them collapse the timeline, right? Help them solve their problem quicker, right? Easier, more simplified way, and be visible so that they can find us. Yeah. Gina, you came off mute. What was a golden nugget for you?
Well, I know find a guest, be a guest. I didn't even think about just collaborating with someone,
Mhm.
and that's really good because that's like a win-win.
Mhm.
I hadn't even thought of that. And we're trying to go out here on my own, and
Yep.
me, myself, and I aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're interested, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I do have a free training. If any of you guys want it, I'm happy to give you the YouTube training for it. It's called How to Collaborate with Doctors and Holistic Health Practitioners to grow your coaching business or grow your wellness business, because that's what I did. That's what I did. Mary's like, I want that. Okay, great. Mary, I will, if you will, Mary, Sarah, if you want it, do me a favor, DM me on Facebook. That way I can find you easier, and I can just grab the link and pop it in the chat for you in the DM chat. But that again, there's two levers that we pull. One is what are we doing on our own, and the other one is who can help us. Who are we collaborating with, right? And so really we want to be looking at both of those things. Right? When I was building my massage, you're welcome. Yes, it will absolutely connect with working with divorce attorneys. Yeah. Oh, Christine just popped off. I just missed her. Okay. Alyssa or Mary? Mary said, sorry. Oh, Christine said, my ideal clients are ready and I can offer a talk, a book club, a free resource to connect and find them. Great. And Mary says her golden nugget is find where they are. Do you have a good idea of where you might find yours, Mary? And Alyssa, not yet. Okay. What is in the way from not knowing yet? Can you come off mute and I can help you with this? I would love it if I want to make sure that you walk away with something really valuable today.
Well, see, I work with divorced and widowed men, but I also work with ladies to lose weight,
Okay.
both of them to lose weight. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I could go to the lawyers for the divorced men. I
Mhm.
could go to the funeral homes for the widowed men.
Mhm.
And then for the women, there's lots of places I could go.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're working with divorced and widowed, I would also say, where else are they hanging out? I would also take a look at church groups, because a lot of times they have, singles groups that meet together and go out to lunch like once a week or once a month, right? And the women, even though they're divorced or widowed, pickleball courts, yay, totally. They could be hanging out at the YMCA. There's a lot of people who hang out at the YMCA. They could also be, doing a yoga class or a meditation class, right? There are multiple places that they could be. So I think you do have a good idea. I think sometimes we tell ourselves, I'm not sure. So I would just write down like, okay, where would this one person be hanging out? Where else would they go when they leave their house? What else are they reading? Maybe they're part of a book club. Maybe they're part of a singles club. Maybe they are um I'm trying to think, what did I do when I was divorced? I would like go for like girls' night out. There's different things. So I would think about, what is it that they're interested in, um, that they could connect. Community center and town events, festivals. Yeah. So I wouldn't, funeral homes is probably not the best place to start. I don't think I would start at a funeral home as far as like, I think that you would probably want to find like a grief resource group or something where they're already kind of going into the recovery and not like in the thick of it. Yeah, a little too soon, maybe. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't want the trauma moment. I want them
Yeah,
after when they're wanting to rebuild themselves.
exactly. Exactly. And if it's weight loss specifically, Mary, then you could also, collaborate with, again, where else, what else would they be doing? Are there running groups? Are there places, gyms that they work out? Is there a occur, I know for women who only want to, hypnotherapist, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, lots of places for sure. Awesome. Alyssa, any ahas or insights? No. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, there you are.
The unmute button. But was right in the very beginning where you talked about, and this is something we've spoken about before too, but it always gets me that they still need the support, even though they may be able to go on Google and get all the information. But the fact that they still need the support, and the fact that I would be able to help them get the result in half the time or maybe less.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. We pay for speed. That's one of the top 5 things, right? We pay for speed. Yeah. Who wants to I don't know anybody who says, oh, I can't wait to take, 5 years to lose 10 pounds. Right? It's no, let's do this. Give me the information and the steps and the support and the accountability so I actually get the results. Yeah. Awesome. You guys are so fun. I love doing this. This is so much fun. We are going to be back here tomorrow, but at a different time. It's going to be at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Okay. So just wanted to remind you guys that it's going to be at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. I've got other programs that I'm running tomorrow during the day, but Eastern, yep, always going to be Eastern time. So 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to create your client attraction plan. So we're going to talk about exactly what to give them and where to share it and how to share it. So how's that sound? Awesome. All right. If you still need to book an appointment with me, get on my calendar. I want to chat with you and I would love to support you. Even if Activate's not the right fit for you, we do have Holistic Business Foundations and we've got some other things that we can absolutely support you in. So I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Awesome. Bye.